Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 22nd, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery in the Pacific Northwest with our system kind of swinging through this morning, bringing some lightning activity across some southern and eastern Oregon. We'll take a look at this one moving off to the east. We'll see what is next to come here for the Pacific Northwest. Some interesting weather starting to show up here for the early portion of next week, and then we'll look at the extended forecast where it continues to show some ridging and some warming conditions for some of the region here as well. So taking a look at lightning strikes over the last 24 hours, you can see that line of thunderstorms there. Not really a line, let's not call it that, but you can kind of see the area where these showers were moving across eastern Oregon from central Oregon. This was going on this morning. Still some lightning going on as we speak right now. And you can see elsewhere across BC, some in northeast Washington, Idaho Panhandle, and some in Alberta there, and some in northwest Montana. So if we take a look at that and I scroll back and forth, you can actually see still some of these lightning strikes ongoing across eastern Oregon. If I scroll back in time, you can see that lightning activity, pretty good lightning strike display here as we went through the early morning hours straight before sunrise there, and then as we go through the morning hours, and that's where we are right about now. So if you want your own home weather station that detects lightning itself up to 25 miles away, this one is very fun. It's all wireless and solar powered. You have it up and running in minutes. It's very easy to set up. You just click a button that's underneath there. It's easy to mount as well. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. So taking a look here at what is going on right now. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and you can see Yakima actually reporting some light rainfall. I don't know if this is actually accumulating. Let me go ahead and check here, and it doesn't, I don't know. I don't see much in the way of accumulation here. So there is some light rainfall going on out there. It does not look like it actually tipped the rain gauge bucket there, but you can also see that area of thunderstorms here. This is what's known as a convective segment. This is what dispatchers use to guide planes through some of the thunderstorm activities, all kinds of information there that we pass along to the pilots. And you can see some of these showers moving across some of the Willamette Valley. Looks like a little bit of light rain in McMinnville right there. And if we take a look at Aurora, actually a little bit of light rain falling as well. But this is moving off to the east. Looks like we are getting some at Hood River as well. What's raining here? Got 400 of an inch at my house this morning, but that really should be wrapped up here across much of western Washington. And if you want to help support the channel, go to the Patreon page. You can also join free publicly, and you can go to the community tab and send me some of your weather images as well. Now, looking at the Storm Prediction Center, this is for today. You can see that thunderstorm threat across maybe some of southeast Washington, Idaho, and Montana. We go to day 2, and you can kind of see it again tomorrow. We do have that threat across some of southeast Oregon, and then day 3 kind of moving off to the east. And then we have another system that's going to be dropping down our coastline that's going to give us some additional thunderstorm potential across the Cascades and portions of Oregon, some eastern Washington as well. More on that here in a moment. Actually, starting right now, we're going to take a look at that. This is the system moving through as we speak. You can see we're in a bit of a trough. Still kind of some troughing here as we go, but not much precipitation expected until this next system starts to approach. And you see we get this ridge building, but the Gulf of Alaska trough is apparent there, kind of impacting southeast BC. Some are actually southwest BC. Well, let's call it western BC here, because you can kind of see the cutoff where the ridging is versus where the trough is, and the precipitation moving into western British Columbia. So it's going to take its sweet time, though, before it pivots towards Oregon-California border there, and it's going to bring some precipitation back on the north side of that, and it's going to bring some convective potential as we go through Sunday night into Monday morning with it. And then you can kind of see that closed low get caught up across California. We start to build a ridge here as we go towards the end of last night's European run. So this goes on into the early portion of next week. We may start to warm up here a bit as we go through next week. So taking a look at right now, you can see we are dealing with that system pushing off to the east. But as we go through the day tomorrow, again, some of southern eastern Oregon will be under some of that thunderstorm threat yet again. And then you can see that next system gearing up out here across the Gulf of Alaska, spreading some of this precipitation back towards the west coast of British Columbia. And you can kind of see it hangs out there for a bit, pretty persistent, not bringing much to southwest BC or Vancouver, Seattle, or Portland in the meantime. But by the time we go on in towards Sunday, you can see things start to switch up here Sunday night into Monday. This would be some overnight convective activity here, which is spreading some thunderstorms up from the south across the Oregon Cascades, perhaps up into the Washington Cascades, and eastern Washington, Oregon would be under the gun a bit there as well as we go through Monday afternoon. Will this system eventually make some thunderstorm potential here to western Washington, western Oregon? Much less certain right now. It's been showing that activity cascades and on and through the east, and I back up there towards Monday morning and show you that right there. And then we scroll off into the future a little bit more, and not much precipitation after that. Taking a look at lightning flash density potential. So we're going to scroll through here. This is for tomorrow, again, kind of southeast Oregon. You can kind of see that highlighted there. And then we go to Saturday. Here's Sunday afternoon, and you can kind of see the instability starting there for the Oregon Cascades, starting to spread up in towards Washington as we go through Monday morning as well. So some overnight thunderstorm activity Sunday night on into Monday with this next system. And the trough will be around here. We'll see what's going to happen on the day Monday also. Now, composite reflectivity, just kind of driving home the point there. This is what's going on right now, and this is what's going on over the next 60 hours. We scroll out towards this afternoon. You see some of these showers still around, and then we go on in through Friday morning here. We go through the day Friday. Can't rule out a thunderstorm or two with that activity, but not much in the way for precipitation for Seattle, Portland, Southwest BC after this system moves through. But then at the very end of the run, you can see the next system gearing up out over the coastline. I also wanted to mention the winds really quickly here as well. As we go through the afternoon today, you can see the westerly surge coming down the Strait of Juan de Fuca through the Columbia Gorge there, the typical north-northwest wind down the coastal areas. The winds will be picking up for the east slopes of the Cascades as we go through this evening and tonight. So just a heads up for that. And then we scroll on in towards Friday, a little bit of an increase in the gusty westerlies coming off the east slopes of the Cascades. And then we go through Saturday afternoon shown there. Taking a look at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. So I wanted to show this as we go on in towards the next week. And in fact, I'm going to go up towards yesterday afternoon's rings. It does go out farther, but you can see we do start to warm up a little bit here, maybe for at least a day here as we go through next Wednesday. And then the ensembles start to disagree on what is to come here as we start to go towards the end of the month in the early portion of June. And now taking a look here at something else that the European does. You can see Cape, most unstable parcel. This is convective available potential energy. So it doesn't show much with the Monday system here for Western Washington, but it does show some instability around as we go through the following week, which we'll be watching as we get a bit closer to that. But if we look at Yakima, you can see the Monday system is going to be bringing those thunderstorms over the Cascades. It does bring some instability. And again, this is 50 ensemble members. It does show some of this Cape showing up in some of the members here. So we'll be watching that. Again, that timing is from Sunday night on into Monday morning. This is Bend, east slopes of the Cascades of Oregon, and you can clearly see the instability is greater here versus what even Yakima was showing. So yeah, we have some pretty good chances of some thunderstorms there for Bend, Oregon, for example. Again, that would probably be on the day Sunday on in through Sunday night into Monday morning. Now looking at the national blend of models, this is today, Thursday, May 22nd. Not bad. I mean, you're getting to the upper 60s for Seattle, Portland out there as well. Some 70s showing up east. Looks like Boise checking into the low to mid 70s. And we go through Friday, Saturday. We warm up a bit here. Look at that. Seattle 75. Portland getting up towards 80 degrees. Maybe Southwest BC warming up, especially the lower elevations. We go to Sunday. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Look at that. Seattle towards 80 degrees here. And you can see Portland into the mid 80s. Some 90s showing up east of the mountains. 90 for Boise. Looks like some mid 80s for the east slopes of the Cascades of Oregon as well. And then we go Thursday, start to cool things down a little bit there. But again, we're kind of looking too far off in the future. We'll see what is going to come with that. So looking at the artificial intelligence, this goes out about 15 days. And I'll put this into motion. And you can see that there's the system we're dealing with right now. I should point that out. And this is as we go through Thursday. We're now into Friday. The Gulf of Alaska trough gets churning. We get a bit of a ridge building here. Maybe some nice weather this weekend before the system finally starts to move into the Pacific Northwest. A little bit of a negatively tilted aspect to that trough, but it is weakening though as it starts to make its way in. And then as we go through the following week, you see the ridge trying to build yet again with the Gulf of Alaska trough. It seems like never too far away. Swings another system up towards western BC as we go towards the later portion of the week, but then the ridge gets established, and look at that Gulf of Alaska trough just retreats way back to the north and west. And maybe we'll go through a bit of a warm up here across the Pacific Northwest as we go on in through the end of May into early June. June. Just something we're watching at this point. You can see that ridge kind of still established here up and down the west coast of North America. So we'll continue to watch that as we get a bit closer. And then some fun fantasy stuff way off in towards the first week of June with a deep trough kind of moving down towards western BC and the Pacific Northwest. So taking a look at the 15-day precipitation anomaly, look at this cutoff there right across Vancouver Island. You know, pretty substantially below normal here. Don't like to see that as we go through the first week of June, but there it is. What can you do? Mother Nature ends up with the final call, and yeah, you can see the above average nature of this across Haida Gwaii, western BC, and up into southeast Alaska. Storm track definitely pointed north. So 6 to 10 day there is on in through May 31st, that above normal signal there, and kind of a mixed bag here, and we'll see about this. The Climate Prediction Center seems to always be at odds with the artificial intelligence model is showing here, and it, we have been fairly below normal here for much of the spring, and we are almost to meteorological summer, which starts officially on June 1st. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, there is a chance I may go chase a little bit here this weekend. Some very subtle stuff coming across maybe some of the high plains and whatnot. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, what else? I hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.